had the debut of the off-season Hard Knocks featuring the Giants. It's inside the off-season decisions that the Giants front office has made. And, of course, Saquon Barkley is front and center. And there's a clip making the rounds of Joe Schoen and his colleagues sort of questioning the value of Saquon and questioning whether or not the Giants should commit to Saquon. Well, new teammate of Saquon's on the Eagles, A.J. Brown, caught wind of this and said, the Saquon video fired me up. It wasn't even about me. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you get yours, fam. Craig, you watched the show. Do you think the Giants will regret not retaining Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, I do. But I'm not sure what A.J. Brown's talking about. Saquon Barkley is happy. He's got $39 million, and a lot of it guaranteed. And he's playing on a team that's got legitimate, Super Bowl hopes and dreams right now. So Saquon Barkley's not in a bad place. Saquon Barkley's not like sitting in a corner crying like Jason Sehorn did after the Super Bowl.
What happened, Flex? You can tell us the story, Flex?
Oh, man.
That's a whole reference for another day. But look, I think the Giants will regret it. But here's the reality of the New York Giants. I think they're a better football team than they were last year because they've improved that offensive line. And I think defensively, they're going to be very good. That being said, the New York Giants aren't doing anything this year. They're not winning a Super Bowl. They're not making the playoffs. And I don't think they would have with Saquon Barkley either. I think that's the reality of the New York Giants football team today. And I do think they will be better this year than they were last year, which is really an embarrassment for them. And a big part of that is because you have a wide receiver threat, at least, in Malik Neighbors, who we haven't even seen play an NFL game just yet. But the New York Giants not re-signing Saquon Barkley, I thought was stupid for two reasons. The guy is still as good as any running back in all of football. He's been the focus of your offense. And what's the point? And I know I'm going to get attacked for this. Like, Saquon the last couple of years has played behind the worst offensive line of football with an, at best, average quarterback. And no, again, all due respect, who is the most talented wide receiver the Giants have had the last couple of years? And even Darren Waller, who when healthy is fantastic, is never healthy and isn't on the field. So the thing that troubles me about it, and has from day one, if you're going to improve the offensive line and you're going to get a potential game-breaking wide receiver in Malik Neighbors, man, wouldn't it be nice to have Saquon Barkley in your backfield? Because now you're talking about an offense that can do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm just totally, kind of dumbfounded with Joe Schoen's comments, with him being a general manager and understanding the, what Saquon can do for your offense.
Right.
He made a statement saying, we're not going to have a $40 million quarterback handing the ball off to a $12 million running back, but at the same time, I don't think there's one quarterback in the league that needs the run game more than Daniel does.
100%.
Daniel Jones does to go out and compete and have fun and try to win some games. But I know exactly what A.J. Brown is saying when he say, dog, I got you. We understand what a dominant wide receiver on the outside and the edge does to a running game.
Sure.
Because Saquon Barkley is getting ready to play against some fronts that he has never seen in a Giant uniform, which is 6 or 7 man boxes, versus that eighth man, that free safety in the box. So, with all that being said, with he's dynamic when he gets the ball. He's one of the best running backs in all of football.
He's going to have a monster year.
7-man fronts, he's going to shine.
Now, Ryan, I know you didn't play against Saquon, but Gale Sayers you did play against. So I'm wondering, as a defensive player, a guy like Saquon does what to you defensively when you watch tape on him and are going to try to defend against a guy like that?
So a guy like Saquon, when the draft happened and I walked out at the draft, that was the year that I walked out. That was Saquon's draft.
Okay.
So we're pulling up to the draft, and this is what a guy like Saquon does to a defensive player. I was happy they drafted Baker instead of Saquon.
Go ahead.
Because as a defender, you don't want it. Obviously, you scared of quarterbacks.
Sure.
But as a defender, Saquon is the type of running back that has literally everything in his tool bag. One day, if he wants to hit you with a spin move, he can. One day, if he wants to outrun you, he can. One day, he wants to run you over, he can. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can pass block. When you have somebody that can literally do everything that you need him to do, quick twitch like that, you got to keep him on your team.
Yep. And the crazy thing is, you're finally addressing the weaknesses on that offense that would allow Saquon Barkley to have the type of year he had his rookie year, which is the greatest year, obviously, he's had this far in his career. We were like, oh, my God, maybe he was touched by the hand of God, like Dave Gettleman said, when he drafted him. And that's the thing I don't understand. They offered him $10 million, maybe a little over $10 million bucks. Obviously, the Eagles got up to $13 million if he plays out the entire contract. A portion of it's guaranteed. But I'm trying to handicap the Giants' offense. And I'm saying to myself, I've got a deep threat, a legitimate threat on the outside, assuming Malik Neighbors is even 80% as good as what people think he's going to be, right? I've got a better offensive line. Why wouldn't I want Saquon Barkley if I'm improving the rest of my offense? Because now you've kind of recreated a one-dimensional offense, but it's built on your quarterback. And we don't know if the quarterback's any good.
Yeah, but Daniel Jones is not a quarterback that you can build an offense behind right now because he hasn't shown us that he can go out and throw the ball 45, 50 times a game.
And that's why I say,
turn the ball over.
Don't do hard knocks
that's
unless you're totally competent and you're in total command. Look, I like Joe Schoen a lot. I think he's a good guy. I don't know if he's going to be a good GM or not because he's in year 3 now with the New York Giants. But I can tell you this. If Joe Schoen and the New York Giants don't figure it out, he's got this season and probably one more. He's going to look back on saying yes to Hard Knocks and saying that was not a bright idea.
In the room saying, well, no one's going to pay him $12 million. Well, guess what?
Crazy.
Someone is going to pay him $12 million. The Eagles, they're going to pay him $13+ million. And well, we don't want a $40 million quarterback handing off to a $12 million running back. Well, guess what the Eagles have?
Yeah.
A $50 million quarterback handing off to a $13 million running back. And they have expensive wide receivers on the outside. It's just they sort of look foolish through this process.
It's one of these things. It's like any walk of life. Like, I feel a certain way about you, and then all of a sudden he comes calling and wants your services. And then the question is, do I look at you differently now because someone else wants them?
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm sure at some point the New York Giants had to say, what do you mean the Eagles want him?
It's too late now.
Like, maybe I should bring it back. And at that point, it's too late. And they had 2 years, 2 full years to get a deal done that would not have broken the bank. And I can tell you as a fact, the Giants still have a couple bucks under the salary cap. They could have signed Saquon Barkley for the exact same deal the Eagles gave him.
And they should have. So, Craig, I've been told that you've got some video you want to play.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I do. And I'm very excited about it. I'm not sure if this is working or not. Check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2. Yep, it's working. They just chose not to talk to me. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.